Hey guys, it's the Shitsky. I'm gonna be doing a bit of a different video today. Usually I do wrestling or football related videos, but today I'm actually gonna be doing a hockey video. Um, I'm not, I do a lot, like I follow football a lot more, and even like basketball. But don't get me wrong, I mean I'm still a humongous hockey fan. I mean I don't know as much about like personal like players and stuff like that. And accomplishments, but I do know I still follow it a lot. I mean, I can't follow every single team and like every single game that goes on, but I still follow it pretty well, and I know what's going on. So yeah, anyway, I'm making my video today on a pretty big announcement that was made yesterday. Um, I live in Winnipeg, and as some of you might know, yesterday the NHL announced that there would be a hockey team coming back to Winnipeg. That The Atlanta Thrashers were sold to True North Sports and Entertainment owner Mark Chipman, and so they're going to be playing back here in Winnipeg next season. The Thrashers are coming here. I'm very excited about that. As some people might know, the Jets, the NHL used to be in Winnipeg. We used to have the Winnipeg Jets. And I won't start going on about statistics and stuff like that because I wasn't really even born when the Jets were around, which kind of sucks because I would have liked to have seen a lot more games. Because I think they collapsed in 90. It was either 94 or 96. One way or the other. I was either just born or I was 2, so I couldn't have seen any of the games. But yeah, they were around since I think. Well, the Jets started in the World Hockey Association in 1972. And that folded in '79, but that's kind of where the Jets got their start. And Winnipeg is crazy about hockey, and I mean they've been crazy about hockey since the early 1900s. A lot of people. One thing is a lot of people have been talking about what the name of the team in Winnipeg should be. I don't like. I mean, I'm not going to say the return of the Jets because they haven't officially named them. The name of the Winnipeg Jets, the name belongs to the National Hockey League. They own the rights to that, so I'm not going to say it's the Jets necessarily. And honestly, I think we should turn over a new leaf and call them something different. Personally, my vote is for the Winnipeg Falcons because the Winnipeg Falcons were the team that won Winnipeg their first ever Olympic gold medal. I think it was I think it was 1920. I might be wrong about that. I didn't actually check, but yeah, in 1920. So that holds very significant importance historically for hockey in the city. As you can tell, we've been growing ever since then, and it kind of set us up as as a primary primary hockey team to look for. Obviously, it was a fairly long time ago, but it set us up as a team, as a city that that was going to be competitive, and they had a passion for the sport, and that you should start watching out for Winnipeg. We've as you can tell since then, Winnipeg's kind of had their fair share of moments, but none more important than that first Olympic gold medal in 1920. So I'm just going to go through. When we're in the World Hockey Association, that was really one of the prime moments for Winnipeg and the city because that's when they were fighting with the NHL, and that's where a lot of the Canadian teams were at the time. I think there was only one Canadian team in the NHL at that point in time. I'm probably wrong, but yeah, there was a lot more Canadian teams in the WHA at the time, and we were competitive. I think we won the title 3 times, and it wasn't a very big league, but don't get me wrong, Winnipeg was very competitive, and in the WHA we thrived. Fans loved it. They loved going to all the games. Attendance was great. It was just to point out a few big players that the Jets had in that WHA era, from 72 to 79. The most important a lot of people think of is Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull was easily the biggest player on that team. I think he's the leading point scorer. Huge icon in Winnipeg Jets history. Another thing that Winnipeg did in that WH area that was fairly important was they're the first North American hockey team to explore European talent. So they went across the pond and went and got a bunch of people from Sweden, and they started recruiting people from Europe. So they got, I mean, there's a line Bobby Hull was on. They called it, I think it was the Hotline or something like that, with Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nilsson, both from Sweden. Oh, and that was a line in the WHA that people love to watch. They were just exciting and energetic. And they could hit you anytime. Speed and a lot of quickness. Very entertaining to watch. That line was a line that probably one of the more memorable groups in Jets history. And then they had Lars. Pardon me if I pronounce this terribly wrong, because I don't actually know the spelling, but Lars Erik Soyberg, also from Sweden. He was a captain for the Jets for a little bit, for a while during the WHA era. Also from Sweden, another guy they got across from Europe. And yeah, there's a lot of guys that they acquired that weren't from North America that were incredibly significant for the Jets team, and they really set up that history of getting people from other locations, for sure. And then things kind of collapsed a little bit when Winnipeg got to the NHL in '79, because, well, I think it was the 80-81 season, they had 9 wins in the season, which is atrocious. They had a 30-game losing streak. That's probably the most infamous season in Jets history, and probably the worst moment. Yeah, they had some pretty bad times, but the Jets just never seemed to be able to get over that hump when they were in the NHL, because they had Calgary and Edmonton in their division, and at the time, those were the 2 top teams to beat. And no matter how they put it, they actually finished 4th. Overall, not like 4th in the division, but 4th overall, and still ended up facing, I think, both Edmonton and Calgary. They lost, I think it was Edmonton in the final, division final. They never made it past the conference final, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see that, but it never happened. And a few, I mean, there was definitely more important figures on that Jets team in the NHL era from '79 to, I think, 96, 94 and 96. Among those guys were Thomas Steen, who a lot of people remember. Pretty important figure. He was a captain. Teemu Selanne, who's still playing in the NHL. I think he might have retired. I think he's still playing, though. Teemu Selanne is one of the better rookies that my dad actually remembers a lot about Teemu Selanne as a young star. Now he's a vet. But his early growing up in the NHL was with the Jets. Shane Doan was drafted by the Jets too. That's where he got his start. Dale Howard-Chuck, of course, obviously almost everyone knows about Howard-Chuck. Big player in Jets history. Keith Tkachuk is another guy who had a great career in the NHL. Nikolai Habibulin actually got his start with the Jets as well. Randy Carlyle, who used to coach the Manitoba Moose, and won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks. He was also a co-captain. I think it was with Thomas Steen and Howard-Chuck. Was another guy that was big in the franchise. So those are just some names of some pretty big players that played for the Jets. Definitely a lot of history and a lot of people that came from the organization that were fairly important. And by no means did the team fold in the early '90s because of fan support. The fans did all they could to keep the team around. It's just that the Jets couldn't support American players and their salaries and the budget when the dollar went up, and the fees and the funds. It couldn't work out, and so it was terrible to see the Jets have to leave, and the city was really broken for a little while, because I mean, what are you supposed to look to? I mean, NHL. I mean, you still got the CFL and everything, but those are, I mean, in Winnipeg, we're not like cities like Toronto or like Montreal or like places like that, or like Edmonton or Calgary, where they have, they have an NHL team. Well, more specifically Toronto, where they have an NHL team, and they've got a baseball team, and they've got a basketball team, so they can look forward to more than one sport. With a lot of different teams now, like through the U.S. nationwide, where they can come in and see a plethora of teams, and us, we've got the Bombers, it's only an 8-team league. I mean, and then when the Moose came, That was a great. I apologize for my phone. And when the Moose came in, I think it was '96. Um, After the Jets left, I mean that kept the fans hopeful. I mean, and kept them wanting to watch NHL games. AHL games, because it was a way of keeping hockey in Winnipeg, and the fans stayed loyal to the Moose till the day that they left, till the day that of the announcement of the Jets coming back. So uh, the fans here in Winnipeg, we love hockey. We love our team, and I mean, I'm definitely going to go into as many games as I possibly can. I mean, I'm going to support the Jets as much as I can, because even though, I mean, hockey's not my primary sport, and it's not my primary sport that I watch, I still do love it. I still follow the Jets. I followed the Moose. I was a diehard Moose fan. So, yeah, hopefully the Jets will have a successful comeback here, and hopefully in the next 2-3 years, we might even be making a deep playoff push. So yeah, give me your thoughts on what you think about the Jets, about the team, hockey team, NHL team coming back to Winnipeg. Let me know, and don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.